So it seems like most people nowadays in the West are not history buffs. So you can't be mad at someone, maybe someone who's European, who is going to history when it comes to making their decisions in the future. One issue now I'm an American myself, and I understand we have something called arrogance. The reason we're so arrogant and so pompous and we don't have much foresight, it seems, is because we don't have to. See, these European nations are all connected by land to Africa and the Middle East. You can literally drive from Spain to Tehran and then to China and to Russia. You can literally go there by land. They're all connected. But you're not going to be able to drive to the United States from Europe, from anywhere else on Earth. You're going to have to cross the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean. So we don't really care. If it's not Mexico who's subservient to us, or one of our Canadian vassals to the north that, we pretty much own them, we're not too concerned with relations. When you look at these countries in Europe, they're directly connected by landmass. In only a few short hours, you're passing 10, 20 different countries. They don't want to be in the middle of our bullshit because it doesn't make sense. Iran is not currently threatening Europe. Iran's not currently threatening Spain. Iran was not currently threatening to invade the United States. They don't have bases set up on the Mexican border. They're not off the coast of Cuba. They're literally in their own world. Iran wants to be left alone. They want to manage their own government, their own people, their own sovereignty. So what? You got a bunch of people in Iran who want to overthrow their government. Which country doesn't? Around the world, all the younger people who are in college and the women, they all want to be gay. They all want to be on OnlyFans. Their governments are traditional, theocratical, and they're a theocracy. So they're run by their religion. So that's what's keeping their countries together. But these universities have a Western influence. They think that we are so free here in the West because we no longer have families. Women are no longer wives. Women no longer have children. So they're not mothers. If you're in another part of the world that's traditional, you might be fooled into believing that is what freedom is. Oh, wow, these women can have sex with other women. Oh, wow, these women can sell themselves on the internet. Oh, wow, these women can set up OnlyFans pages and strip down and dance. Oh, I just want to dance, dance, dance. That's what they want to do in Iran. And they're willing to burn the cradle of civilization to the ground so that they can go and be gay. In my opinion, you should find all of them, round them up, and you can do either a Bay of Pigs or you can do a mass deletion. But they are contributing to the destabilization of your country. And it's not like Western powers are not hearing what they're saying. These people are literally reaching out to the Americans and saying, hey, we want to be gay. Please blow up and kill our leaders so that we can be like you. That's not good for stability. The Spanish government wants no part of it. The Europeans don't want any part of it. Keir Starmer they don't have the capability to hurt or do anything to Iran anyway. So they're staying neutral. And now our own president, Trump, who I support, is throwing a hissy fit. He's now so insulted that they don't want to let him launch attacks on Iran from a Spanish basis that he said we're going to cut off trade with them. This is what you call collateral damage. This is an unforeseen consequence of this hastily invasion or attack of Iran on behalf of Israel, because Bibi's nowhere to be found. He's left the country. Israel's not going to pay the price for it. Ultimately, we are. But listen, this is the Spanish prime minister. Let's hear what he has to say about this topic.
We must learn from history and cannot play Russian roulette with the fate of millions of people. The powers involved in this conflict must immediately cease hostilities and commit to dialogue and diplomacy. And the rest of us must act consistently, defending now the same values that we defend when we talk about Ukraine, Gaza, Venezuela, or Greenland. Because the question is not whether or not we are in favor of the Ayatollahs. No one is. Certainly not the Spanish people, and of course not the Spanish government either. The question, rather, is whether or not we are on the side of international law, and therefore of peace.
Yeah, I mean, which is true. just because I don't agree with your way of life in your own country where I don't have to live, it doesn't mean I have a right to destroy your country and bomb you to hell and force you to live like me. Everyone doesn't want to be gay. Everyone doesn't want to live like an American. Everyone doesn't want to eat poisonous fucking food that's on every corner, not have God, not have kids, never get married, and just be gay until you die, which is usually by suicide because you have nothing to live for, because you have no family, no kids, no wife. We don't even want to live like that in the West. We are rejecting sexual liberation here. Our women are rejecting it. They're living in regret. They're saying that the men in the West, in America, shouldn't have allowed them to do that to themselves 30 years ago. But we let them. You want freedom? You're free. They went and did porn. They went and did all this debauchery. No one purposely wants to have children with them. No one purposely wants to marry them. So now they're older, alone, and they're single. Women are showing up to events. There's thousands of them. No men are there. Where are all the men? Well, the men have went to other countries and they found traditional women. They've married them. They started families. They brought them back here. They're off living their life. So now we have this huge abundance of women in the West that are now begging for communism because since they have no children or no husband to take care of them in their old age, they're depending on who? Uncle Sam to do the work of the husband, to be your provider and your protector, which is unsustainable. That's not how it was supposed to be. That literally goes against what it means to be an American. People are thinking that sexual liberation is what freedom is, and that's why they're trying to topple their own government in Iran. And look at all the consequences we have to deal with. Let's take a listen to what Trump has to say.
Are you going to take the heat off the Europeans to potentially help Iran, which they pull on the allies to help you?
What does that mean?
Well, you have to our region, because not as part of NATO, but to be helpful to you in this.
Well, some of the European nations have been helpful and some haven't. And I'm, very surprised. Germany's been great. He's been terrific. Others have been very good, terrific. I think that the head of NATO, Mark, is fantastic. Mark Rutte. I think he's fantastic. But some of the European, like Spain, has been terrible. In fact, I told Scott to cut off all dealings with Spain. Spain, first of all, it started when every European nation, at my request, paid 5%, which they should be doing. And everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody. And Spain didn't do it. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases. And that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it.
Do you see that attitude? That's not an attitude of cooperation. That's an attitude of superiority. Do we have superiority? Yes. But if we are going to consider ourselves being a part of a community of nations that we're supposed to work with in conjunction with, which is like NATO and other nations in the EU, then you cannot have this attitude where you're like, well, fuck you, I'll do what I want. Yeah, I know you said no, but how about we just rape you? How about we just take it? And what are you going to do? Tell us no? Now you got to fight us. And it's just like that bully attitude, that bully mentality. It makes people hate us. It makes people not want to work with us. Why would any of these European countries, the reason these European countries, they're not being terrific by Trump standards because they want to, it's because they already know what Trump's going to say. Well, I don't care that you said no, we're going to use it anyway. So it really is no point of even resisting. Yeah, these countries are not saying no to you because, well, you're making them an offer they can't refuse. It's the mob father. It's the Godfather situation, which I'll be honest with you, when these countries, the first chance they get, they're going to turn on us. The first chance they get, the first sign of weakness, and they're all going to jump us. The Europeans, the Saudis, everyone. It's like no one really, like even Israel fucking hates us. They spit on us. They literally put us in situations where we're always going to be under attack. They won't even let our soldiers go to their hospitals during times of battle. When we're airlifted out of Afghanistan, instead of going 2 hours to Tel Aviv, they force us to go to Ramstein or Kaiserslautern 8 hours away in Germany. But I thought you guys were our allies. They can't stand us. But look at this attitude. Yes, Trump, we know if we want to, we can just take over everybody's country, kick everybody's leaders out, and we can just declare you as the president of the world. We have a military. We can do that. Maybe, maybe not. But the thing is, that's not something you should just say. It's improper. It's true. We could just kick the shit out of Spain, but now we got to worry about occupying Spain and controlling those people, which is obviously that's not going to be, we can barely hold on to our own cities. We're literally occupying DC, Memphis, Chicago. We're literally only there to keep black people from killing each other. What are we going to do now? Try to enforce American supremacy where we're going to remove their leader and take over Spain? Why? Because they decide to fight us if we take their bases because they said no and we said yes. It's like every day we're looking up where we're almost in a predicament. We're almost getting into a conflict over fucking nothing. We don't need anything from Iran. We don't want anything from Iran. We're not even asking the Iranians for anything. We keep talking about nukes. They're allies with the Russians and the Chinese. They could just buy a fucking nuke. Putin would just donate nukes. They don't need to enrich it. They're not trying to enrich it. It doesn't matter if they enrich it. They could just buy them or they can just get them donated. And they should. If that's the only thing that's going to keep the Americans and the fucking Jews from attacking them is because they're afraid that you have nukes, because I haven't seen them attack fucking North Korea. If that's the only thing that's going to deter you, then so be it. Everybody should have them. Just to keep everybody out of each other's backyards and out of their business. If I have people in my country that want to overthrow my government, how about this? Instead of capturing them all and executing them, how about we do a bag of pigs and we send them to Europe country? You guys want to dance and be gay? You think that's what life's all about? Go live in America. Go live in Canada. Get the fuck out of here. We are going to have families. We are going to stay stable. We are going to live in God's image. We are a theocracy. We are Iran. That's what they want. But here goes the Americans. They want to impress our opinions and our way of life, which is fucked. We want to impress it on them. And it's brainwashing their women and their young, gay, impressionable men to the point where, well, now you're forcing the government to execute you because you're basically domestic terrorists. How do we treat our domestic terrorists? I don't know. Ask Renee fucking Good. We do the exact same thing as Iran for the exact same reasons in the name of homeland security and protecting our sovereignty. They're doing the same for the same reason. Don't look at them as 30,000 students that were killed. Look at them as 30,000 agitators and domestic terrorists, because that's what they are. Look at the people who are burning pictures of the Ayatollah right now. Zero respect for the men who dedicated their lives to protecting their nation from evil influences from around the world. They're still there. They gave everything, and now these ungrateful kids want to throw it all away and are begging other countries to attack. That definitely makes you a domestic terrorist. Trump's response to Spain right now is childish, and you have to understand where they're coming from. Anybody, what did the Russians say? You let the Ukrainians or you guys attack us and you're using any bases outside of Ukraine, that country is now akin to the war, and we're going to bomb you. So guess what everybody said? Send that shit to Ukraine, let the Ukrainians deal with it. They could have launched from Hungary, Poland. They could have launched from fucking these other countries around the Ukraine, but they didn't because the Russians said that means you're a part of it. So let's look at the 15 different countries that America would use to launch against Iran. All the GCC countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Dubai, Kuwait, Qatar, Jordan, all. And guess what Iran did? They hit every single one. Their economies damaged. Their production facilities, refineries destroyed. Their tourism done. You got millions of people paying. Okay, right now in Dubai, people are paying $100,000 to pay for a black SUV to drive them 10 hours north to another city, and then they have to pay another $200,000 to get a private jet to fly them out of Saudi Arabia, out of Dubai, out of the UAE. They were having to pay $250,000 to evacuate from Dubai. But I thought Dubai was so safe. It was supposed to be blah, blah. Shut the hell up. Nowhere is safe. If America's going to pick fights and you're on America's side, then their fight is your side, your fight. America's far away. You're not. How's America going to protect you? We can't even protect ourselves. You know what protects us? The Pacific and the fucking Atlantic. That's it. So now all the countries that allowed the United States to launch from their airstrips against Iran have been hit. And what if you say, oh yeah, we're launching from Iran. We're launching from Spain against Iran. And what do you think Iran's going to do? Spain, you're a part. Now you're in it. What if the UK would have allowed the Ukrainians to launch from some of their bases, the Royal Air Force, against the Russians? What do you think the Russians would have did? The reason they have not allowed that because we all knew the Russians would have hit them. And I would definitely say the Iranians would have hit the Spanish. So the Spanish said, we don't want to be a part of it. Why can't we just stay neutral? So because I don't want to be akin to this fight, I don't want to be a part of your bullshit war for Israel, you want to cut off all trade and talk shit like, oh, we don't want anything to do with them. I thought we're all part of NATO. I thought we're all friends. We're chums. It feels like that Beyonce song. It's like the first time I say no, it's like I've never said yes. It's a damn shame. Look how finicky and fickle these relationships really are. See, this fight against Iran, it's exposing all how thin the lines are between being a friend or an enemy. He didn't even cross Trump. He just said, we want to stay neutral, launch from somebody else's airstrip, leave us out of this. And now it's fuck you, Spain. You deserve to die. We don't want to do anything with you. What kind of childish response is that? And I support Trump, but Jesus Christ, this is not making us any friends. Now, if it's us versus the world, say that. If that's what it is, then let's just make that official. But Jesus Christ, this is not the way to do it.
But we don't have to. But they were unfriendly. And so I told them, we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not happy with the UK either. That island that you read about, the lease, okay, he made it for whatever reason, he made a lease of the island. Somebody came and took it away from him. And it's taken 3-4 days for us to work out where we can land there. It would have been much more convenient landing there as opposed to flying many extra hours. So we are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
Support journalism.
Yeah, this fight, this unnecessary attack on Iran because Bibi wants us to help fulfill his visions of worshiping Baal and completing the greater Israel project. Well, now we're finding out how much it's going to really cost. It's not just going to cost a lot of money, American taxpayer money, but it's actually going to cost American lives, but it's also going to cost our American reputation and our American relationships with others. People are not going to respect us the same because they understand we're not as strong as we think we are. Iran should have capitulated in one day, according to the analysts of the militaries and everybody, a commentator on the internet. They said America is the strongest military in the world. So obviously Iran's a weak piece of shit. They're going to just fold in one day. They're not going to attack us back. They're going to just beg for a ceasefire. Now it turns out we're the ones begging for a ceasefire, and we can't even stop their attacks because we ran out of ammo, ran out of missiles. Why did we run out of missiles? Well, we gave them all to the Ukraine for a pointless, dumbass war against the Russians. That was unnecessary. And we gave them all to Israel. They keep starting fights with everybody around them, and their Iron Dome has depleted all of their missile reserves. So now they're vulnerable, and we're vulnerable, and there's not shit we can do about it because the Iranians, even without getting reinforcements or being replenished by the Russians and the Chinese, allegedly they have enough missile stockpile to last them for another 13 months or so, because they've been preparing for this moment for 20 plus years. They haven't been going around the world getting into fights and expending their ammunitions, but we have. So different playing fields. Pete Hegseth is saying that, this has just begun. That's not true. It's been going on for a week now, and we haven't been able to do shit with them. We can bomb them, but we can't invade them. You can't occupy a street corner in Tehran from the sky. We don't have ground troops anymore. We have a bunch of blacks and gays who stayed in the military after the vaccine mandates, and just to collect a check, not because they love the country, they hate the country. They're just draining the wallets of the government. They're not patriots. They're not even Americans, but they're in our armed forces. But their ideology is communism and Marxism. So what are you going to do? Send them and embarrass ourselves? We're not able to do that. Unless we just want to get rid of them, then we can get that. That'll help extinguish that poison mindset out of our ranks. That might be the only reason we'll send them there, but not for any other, not other beneficial reason. That would be the only reason to send them there. We can't protect people. We can't protect these other countries. So these other countries might want to learn to get along with whoever's the biggest player in their region. These Gulf Coast countries were better off becoming allies with Iran than being allies with America, because now Iran's destroying all their oil production and we can't help them. So they were better off staying neutral or being aligned with Iran, since Iran is apparently the big dick in the region. Same way the Ukrainians were better off getting along with the Russians than joining the Americans. Now look at the other Eastern European bloc countries. Estonia, they don't have a GDP. They were just getting all their money from USAID to keep their government afloat. That money's cut off. All those countries they were all going to be launch pads for America against Russia. Now they're going to all have to fall back into being a part of the Federation, or they're going to starve. Everybody's going to have to stick in their own hemisphere. We can control Greenland to Argentina. Everything else, we need to leave it alone. If you're in Europe, you're going to have to join the Russian Federation, or you're going to have to work with the Gulf Coast. But we're not going to be able to protect you. You're going to have to get along. If you're in Asia, Japan, the Koreas, they're going to have to learn to get along with China, even Australia. We are not going to be Team America World Police. We cannot protect Taiwan from anybody. We can't even protect ourselves. We're going to have to now consolidate and understand that this is a multipolar world. It's not a unipolar world anymore. We don't belong over there attacking Iran. And I'll be honest, Iran's going to our petrodollar could possibly collapse if they keep up bombing for at least another week. And they close the Strait of Hormuz. That's 80% of our oil production not able to pass. That means prices are going to skyrocket and our petrodollar is going to falter. Then, and was it worth it? Why? Because Bibi Netanyahu doesn't need this fighting to stop, because then he'll go to prison for corruption. Remember, they can't lock him in jail during a time of war. So what does he have to do? Keep the fighting going. All this to save one man whose son and wife are in Miami right now, and he's probably in either Cyprus or Germany. Total bullshit. And we're going to just discard NATO and Spain because they don't want to be a part of our bullshit war and make an enemy of a country that could literally strike them. It's just bullshit. And I support Trump, but he has to fix his attitude and his behavior when it comes to dealing with these nations. He's not a politician, granted, but you're going to have to pretend to understand diplomacy. Right now, we're failing. I don't know. Let me know you guys' thoughts. I don't know who agrees or disagrees. And we're trying to keep the liberal bullshit out of there. We're trying to show strength, but we're not projecting strength. We're projecting weakness with these ad hominem attacks against people who are just saying no. Like the way, yeah, exactly. Same way I do. And the thing is, what if I'm wrong, but what if you're wrong? Iran supplies Russia and have plenty. Trump fucked up on this fight. We have not sent our current arsenal to Ukraine. We sent out our outdated. No, remember, Ukraine war went on for years and it was under Biden. So the first 2 years we sent outdated. Then we got to dig into our current stockpiles. The reason is we didn't think we were going to need them because we thought everybody was afraid of us. We're not used to people fighting back. See, during the Cold War, it was a flex situation. We weren't going to attack each other, but we just wanted to brag about our stockpiles and show how tough we were. But we were only meant to show it. It wasn't a put up or shut up situation where we were going to actually have to use these weapons. That's what we were prepared for, a Cold War situation. We're not equipped for a hot war where we actually have to expend ammo. We lost the last, 2 or 3 times that we tried to do that. We lost in Korea. We lost in Vietnam. And to be honest, it looks like we lost after Pearl Harbor. I was in Hawaii not too long ago. Everything's in Japanese. So, I mean, who won? Right now we're projecting a lot of weakness. Yeah, Chauncey Higgins, thank you. I appreciate the support. And you know what? There's a lot of people who are watching this, but they're not subscribed to the channel. I need you guys to please come over to YouTube, to my Rico Limbaugh channel. Please subscribe to the channel. That way you guys can stay up to date with my takes and my videos. I do a lot of these. I did one of my largest lives the other morning, 24,000 people on live. We're going over the war. We're talking about all these sensitive topics. It's not necessarily popular speech, but it is accurate speech. We were just talking about Jasmine Crockett, but we're going over all these different subjects. And I do need you guys in the comments so that we can have these conversations. You guys, I read your replies. We're engaging with one another, and that helps build a conversation. I'm trying to talk with you, not at you. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video. It pushes me into the algorithm. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of stuff happening in real time. There's no such thing as a slow day in media. That's why I always do these videos every day. Like I can't afford to say, well, I'm gonna do a bunch of videos today and I'm gonna take off tomorrow. Do you know what can happen in one day and how far behind that could put? We have to stay up to date by the minute. So I'm locked in. I'm reading the articles. I'm bringing you guys the news as we can. I used to depend on others like Tim and Brandon, but I found out they're taking money from the same people that made us attack Iran to talk shit about Candace Owens. So I don't know what else they're paying them to say. I don't trust them. So now I have to build up my own media and do all my own takes and read my own stuff myself. I'm just hoping I can do it with you guys in conjunction so we can, so we can figure this all out and make better decisions, sound decisions for ourselves and for our families, because that's pretty much all that matters, us and our families. So do me a favor, like and subscribe, share the video. I do appreciate, yeah, I did say blacks and gays, not fans of either one of them. I feel like they're the biggest problem in the country. So anyway, yeah, Pearl Harbor. I mean, think about it. Have you been to Honolulu City? Been to Oahu lately? Tried to read the street signs? They're not in Spanish and English. They're in Japanese first, English second. So did we win? What does winning even look like nowadays? I don't know. Well, look, do me a favor, like and subscribe, share the video. I'll be back on live. I have another topic for you guys in about 20 minutes. And remember, it's America first and America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.